Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for another player profile brought to you by Coca's Pizza. Thanks to Coca's and Steve Coca, the whole staff here, making sure that we're fed every Wednesday night. Make sure you are coming to any participating Coca's Pizza and take advantage of their awesome deals. And listen, the pepperoni rolls, they are legit. Love them. And have you ever had the pierogi pizza?
No.
Get yourself a pierogi pizza, Vince. Vince Luce joins us here, the senior for Canfield. And Vince, when you look at it, you're in a boot right now, right? Not where you want to be. Ultimately, life kind of threw you a curveball, but you have admirably been able to fight through this, and you've been supporting your teammates through the entire time. What has this process been like for you your senior year?
Well, I mean, obviously, I look back at it. You tell me at the beginning of the season, hey, you're going to be able to play first game, and then you're out for X amount of weeks. I probably would have called you crazy for it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have wanted to believe it, but I mean, it's kind of a blessing in disguise because during the summer and then kind of in the off season, I would think about like, hey, maybe this would be it. Maybe this would be my final season playing football, and then this time being away from it just tells me more that I'm not ready to give this sport up yet. Gonna go play, in college, and I'm thankful for that. And overall, just I get to grow as a person, as myself. I get to focus on my schooling a little more. So,
Yes. I mean, what's crazy about all of this is you are what, 17, 18?
17.
17. And that is a man's stance on adversity, right? Because it's easy to quit. It's easy to second guess yourself. And when push comes to shove, here you are thinking, maybe you know what? I've had enough of football. But that's when the love kicks in. That's when the heart finds, absence makes the heart grow fonder. You love football. What do you want to do when you come back? Ultimately, I mean, and coach, I heard him talking to you over there. We're going to make sure everything's right. Make sure you're strong. Make sure you're healthy. You look strong. You look healthy. If a couple things go right, you're playing by the end of the season, but you got to make sure everything's right because there's a lot of folks that are looking at you and saying, this could be our future offensive, defensive lineman that is the face of our program. How does that make you feel?
It's great. It's great to be wanted by a program to go spend my next 4 to 5 years with.
Yeah.
But at the same time, my work's not done here. I've been thinking about this season, ever since I was a little water boy with them, X amount, however long ago with Scotty. But my work's not done. I tell my guys every week that I'm gonna be back at some point. I'm gonna be back, and I'm gonna give whatever I have for however long we have left together. Because at the end of the day, this is my last ride with all these guys that I've grown up playing with.
How has your role changed? I mean, you've started as a water boy, like you just said.
Yeah.
You're an elite offensive, defensive lineman, and then you go on the IL ish, if there is one, and then now you're like a motivator, right?
Yeah.
From what I've heard, is you're constantly keeping guys up. I saw the way you interacted with Andrew, and I'm really proud of that because a young man who lost his spot and trying to regain it, and first thing you did is you gave him a hug and you said, you got this back. You got this. You did a good job. Stuff like that. How has your role changed over the last 5-6 weeks?
Well, obviously, during the summer, I was a guy that kids would ask questions with. They'd come up, ask me like, how do I do this? How do I do that? And I would help them, as much as I can, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to be here forever. So that's looking at the future of the program. After I got hurt, it was the same thing. I came in that Monday to talk to the guys. I hung out at practice with them, was out. I came to the Mansfield game, came with my parents. That was, I think either that one or the Poland game was the hardest one for me, because just sitting there watching a close game, playing the what if game, how could I have, helped my team? But my role has changed because I've turned into more, a guy that picks guys up. I coach them up. I coach up the young guys. Guys like, Gage Watson, DJ Erickson, Zach Tucker, younger guys that, when I'm gone, I want them to be able to look back. I want them to be able to call me and be like, hey, how do I do this? Hey, how do I do that? How do I lead and set an example for the younger guys like I'm trying to do right now?
How does that change the way you're going to be when you get back on the field?
It's not going to change at all. I'm still, I'm the only thing that's going to change is, I'm going to be out of a boot and a cleat, shoulder pads on, playing playing on Friday nights, but when I get back, it won't be any different from how I am now. I'm still gonna pick up guys. Obviously, I'm gonna work on myself, try to get myself, back to how I was in the summer in week 1. But I'm still gonna be there for the guys. Win, lose, tie, whatever we're destined to do. It's not gonna change at all.
Vince, when you walk into a room, you own it, right? You walk in a room and people go, "Oh my Lanta," right? I did. You walk right through that
Yeah,
door, and I thought, "Oh my gosh, you can have all the pizza rolls." But you're a gentle human being. You genuinely care about people. But I have a feeling that changes over when you get between the
yeah.
lines and you get put that C on your chest. Where do you have to go mentally to get where you need to go to do what you have to do on a Friday night?
I don't have to go far. It's just the passion that I have for the game. I've been playing this game for I think about 11, 12 years now, ever since I was little. I've grown up with it. It's made me who I am. So to be able to go out, play for all the guys that before me, go play for the guys that, the little kids that, give us high fives when we're running out into the tunnel, and just, because I can remember when I was younger looking up to guys like, Richie Hofus, Michael Mininock, guys like that, Andrew Morchak, one of our offensive line coaches, and being like, I want to be that dude, that dude that, they can run behind, that dude that when they need a yard, they put it behind me and I can go play. I want to set an example for those kids. So when those kids grow up, they don't want to go anywhere else. They don't want to go to any private school, any other school in the area. They want to come to Canfield and be that guy and be, that game changer for them.
That's crazy that you were the guy that had your hand extended, the water boy, all that stuff, and you're watching, and now you are that guy. What does that mean to you? Like, would you ever put it in context of like when you're running out and you're shaking those hands of those guys that are the next
Yeah.
generation of Cardinals? What you've accomplished?
Um, it means a lot to me because, when I can remember when I was little and I talked to, younger kids, and when I was younger, I talked to, the senior guys. I'd come to the football camps
Yeah.
and talk to those guys and be able to be coached up by those guys. I'd go home and talk to my parents about it for months and months on end. And, I try to recreate, that kind of leadership with my teams when I was younger. So just to be able to, take 5 minutes, talk to the younger kids, have them come up to me, ask how I'm feeling, ask how my foot's doing. It means everything to me.
And I know Canfield means a heck of a lot to
Yeah.
you, man. When you put that C on, how much does that mean to you?
Like I said, it means the world to me. There's no other place I'd rather be in this world. This Canfield's my home. Canfield will forever be my home.
All right. Well, not forever because you
Yeah.
got some things you got to do at the end. Obviously, like you said, still got some business to tend to here.
Yep.
But when you get that piece of paper that says, "Hey, you checked all the boxes here at Canfield High," what are your career aspirations? Where do you want to go? I mean, do you have any schools that you're looking at right
I
now? You're
got
like, I like this.
I have there's a couple places, that I'm narrowing it down to. My decision probably be coming here soon, but uh it's just wherever, feels like home to me.
Yeah.
Whatever school wants me there, they'll treat me right, and I'll get a great education, because at the end of the day, this isn't forever. I got to think long term.
Wow, you are a bright young man. What is that education you're looking to achieve?
Right now, I'm looking at either undecided or going to interdisciplinary, which is kind of, a mix of everything else. Like you do a couple things here and there, and then you would go into a major. But I would say that if I wasn't playing football, I wasn't as good as I am at football. I'd be going to MCCTC to work on cars.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Do you work on cars like right now?
I not as much as I would like to, because
Yeah.
I'm tied up. I'm tied up here, and then once winter comes, I'm tied up in the wrestling, and then spring comes, and I'm working out. I'm going on spring ball visits, and I'm working out with my trainers and trying to get right for the upcoming season.
Just saying, we have a wrestling division this year on YSN, so you might have a part 2 of this.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so perfect question. I've heard this up and down. Wrestlers are great football players and vice versa. Tell me why.
Uh, just the aspect of going out and getting what you want, that fight, because you sit. I know me personally, I'm my Coach Shaw. He cranks the room up to, and it can vary anywhere between 85 and 90s in that room, and you gotta go practice through it. And then there's been times where I'm just sitting there, I'm asking myself, like, what am I doing here? But at the end of the day, there's always going to be a job that's going to be finished. There's always going to be something that you got to get through. And when that day comes for me, I'll think back to, my high school days of getting through, 90-degree heat in football, getting through this with my foot, getting through wrestling season, and I'll be able to get through that as best as I can.
The adversity, man. It's always going to be there. It's always going to stand in your way. Who has taught you in your family, in your circle, to get through that adversity?
Really, it's been my whole family. My mom, my dad, my sister, grandpa, my uncles, my aunts. Really, I couldn't be happier with the family that I have. I love all of them very deeply. They keep me who I am. They keep me grounded. Sometimes my dad likes to say when I get too full of myself, he has to grab me back,
It's everybody.
bring me back to earth. But in all honesty, I get everything how I am is from my family, and I couldn't be happier with them.
Do you ever have the chance or the opportunity when you're playing on a Friday night to turn around and see that section of red, black, and white
Yeah.
that is your family and take it in? And how much does that mean to you?
I can't put it into words, really. I remember week 1 against West Branch. I was in tears right after the national anthem. I look up, I see my mom, I see my dad, my grandfather, my uncle, my sister. Well, no, my sister was in the student section, but I see all my family, and then I see my family friends surrounding them, and I thank the good Lord that he blessed me with such an amazing family.
I can see you're getting emotional about it
Yeah.
right now, dude. Okay, so let's lighten this up a little bit. If you could do anything, not fixing cars, have a career, what would it be and why? And you could do anything. It doesn't you can have a different skill set, different body type, whatever.
Professional golfer.
Do you like golf?
I like the golf. I'm just not very good at golf.
Okay.
I'm terrible at golf.
Favorite club in the bag?
Driver.
Always the driver.
Yeah.
Oh, you just let loose, don't you?
Yeah, because I can just, take all my frustration out from the previous hole out on the next hole, and then my problem usually starts all over again.
Can you putt?
Yeah.
You can putt.
I'm pretty good at putting.
Short game's kind of the weakness there?
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. What is, if you had $1 million right now and you had to spend it on one thing, what would it be and why? No change. You got no change.
I can't put it in like stocks or anything.
No, you can't invest it. Why? You guys are so much smarter than our generation. That's the second time I've heard it this week.
I don't know. Probably go back to the cars thing. I'd go build myself a garage and buy however many cars I can that are my dream cars, and just be happy with that.
What stock would you invest in?
I don't know,
Mr. Investor.
I'm not. I don't really do that, but I mean that would be I have
a smart thing to do.
I have friends that do it, and it's the smart thing to do.
College football, pro football.
See, I'm not going to answer it like trade school, like Hugo did. I'm gonna go definitely college football, because pro football, you see guys, sit out for the dumbest reasons, contract dispute, stuff like that. College football, you play for a school, you play for your brothers. Doesn't matter, I've talked to dudes that have played with, broken legs, separated shoulders, all that.
Yeah.
You don't see that at the pro level. You see guys, sit out for migraines
with a hangnail.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting. Do you have a favorite pro football team?
Steelers.
Yes.
Absolutely Steelers.
Monday was sweet, man.
Oh, yeah. Everything
not pretty, but it was sweet.
Yeah, it was Russell, and I was over my uncle. He's a big Browns Michigan fan. So I'm sitting there, and he has a garage back there. It's really cool. And sitting there, and I jaw back and forth with him. We're talking, and it was a good time.
I'm gonna guess you're an Ohio State guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ohio State. If you could ever sit on a D1 field, right, and it's feasible. I heard it through the grapevine. Where would you want to? What would be the coolest stadium to step out onto, and why?
If you would have asked me last year, I probably would have said Ohio State. But it's a mix right now. Probably either Syracuse, with the dome, or a night game at West Virginia.
Oh, that's dangerous down there in West Virginia.
Yeah.
And then finally, shout out to your folks. I mean, how much do they mean to you from a standpoint of making you the young man you are today? Impressive young man, by the way.
They mean everything to me. I'm sure, I'm gonna go home, get a breakdown from my dad about the looks that I've given, because I have a tendency to look away when I talk.
That's
But
okay.
they mean everything to me. My entire family, they mean the world to me, and I wouldn't trade them for anything else.
Dude, you did awesome. It is such an honor and a privilege to be able to be here with you and talk about your life and the impact that you've had on the Canfield community, not just the program. And I wish you nothing but the best, man. Can't wait. I'm rooting like hell to have you see you out there.
Thank you.
Vince Luce, DJ Oakley, that's going to do it for the Player Profile edition and this edition of the Canfield Cardinals Show. Tune in every Wednesday, 7 o'clock, right here on your